feel overwhelmed. You've got pressures of work, you've got pressures of just life, you've got pressures of relationship, you've got pressures of the kids, you've got pressures of friends, of family, you've got pressures all over the place, and it produces this heavy weight on top of you that produces overwhelm. An overwhelm that leaves you stressed, overwhelm that sometimes will have you snap out, overwhelm that have you get to a place where you're frustrated with people that you normally wouldn't even be frustrated with. This might come from the relationship that you're in. It might come from burnout outside of work. It might come from so many different areas. But what I've seen consistently in working with hundreds of different clients is that overwhelm typically stems from a lack of clarity. Now, what I mean by that is many times people feel overwhelmed with the amount of things that they have to do, with the direction that they want to go, with who they want to be. And they're overwhelmed because they want something different for their life, but they're not sure how to actually get it. What I've seen when we start talking to different clients like this is we bring them back to a place of understanding if that is the overwhelm, let's break it down. What's urgent versus important? What needs to happen today versus tomorrow? What can be delegated versus what you need to do? What has to be done today versus what could be put off to tomorrow and we could get something else done? And actually start building a plan so that people have clarity inside of their world. One of the things we do inside of Raw Motivations is help give people clarity. Clarity about the toxic relationship, clarity about their life, clarity about their goals, clarity inside of everything. And the goal of it is helping people get to a place where they are clear on what they need to do. You see, many people know an idea of what they need to do or a direction of what they need to do, but actually doing it, following through and doing it, oftentimes that doesn't happen. You see this all the time where people establish goals as far as like New Year's resolutions, and then they never carry them out. They never follow through. What I've seen people accomplish inside of Raw Motivations in 6 months sometimes puts people to shame for a year or even 2 years. Simply because the clarity that happens is what gets rid of the overwhelm and helps people produce. Move forward and grow and develop who they actually want to be. Shift their mindset, shift their thought process, shift their relationship, shift their work, shift everything. But you have to get around people that are showing up honest and are showing up accountable. That's the hardest piece. So you live in a world where there's many people that rather tell you that they're fine than actually say, no, this is what's really going on. And actually say, hey, this is what's actually affecting me. This is what is actually slowing me down. This is what I'm actually struggling with. So here at Raw Motivations, I've been dedicated on trying to bring clarity to every single person that I work with. This is what happens even on an initial call. We sit down, we get an idea of where you are, where you want to go, what are the obstacles in between? And if it's a good fit, then we start working together. Hey, we can actually help you work through those obstacles. Because if we don't help you eradicate the fog that's inside of your world, the confusion that's leaving you stuck, then ultimately you don't actually achieve the goals that you want to achieve. Many of you have had and set different goals, even over the past year. How many of those have you actually achieved? Maybe you've gotten distracted because of the relationship you're in. Maybe you've gotten overwhelmed because of the job that you're in. Maybe you've just been stressed out because you're managing the house, the kids, work. You're trying to balance everything else or balance everybody else's emotions, and you're not really taking time to focus on what needs to move for you to feel secure, for you to feel safe, for you to feel successful. That's the piece that inside of this is overwhelm starts to disappear completely when we get clarity in your world. But clarity is not just enough. There's many people that know there's an issue in their world, or they know something's wrong, or even they know what is wrong, but they don't know what to do with it. Just having the idea of like, hey, this is what's wrong isn't good enough. We have to then build a plan. How are we going to shift the mindset? How are we going to shift the thought process? How are we going to shift how you show up for you? We do this inside of the core four. Investing time and energy into you physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, relationship-wise, like all of those things, helping you move through a normal life, but actually having you focus on you versus focusing on managing everybody else. Overwhelm is a massive piece that hits people when they're in a toxic relationship, when they're dealing with work, when they're trying to balance life, when they're trying to balance a marriage, when they're trying to balance kids, and they're struggling with it because they're overwhelmed. One thing I want to bring to you today is an option of saying, hey, let's talk through and have an invitation for us to talk through how to get clarity. What that actually looks like. Dealing with the facts of your world to figure out where you're at, where you need to go. What needs to happen? What needs to shift? You've got this option here inside of Raw Motivations where I'd love to sit down and talk with you of where you're at, where you need to go, what are the obstacles in between. And if it's a good fit, let's talk about how I can actually help you move. If you're interested to know a little bit more about that, you can go to rawmotivations.com/breakthrough. Let's just book a free call. You can jump on. We'll do a free strategy session just to work through where you're at, and let's talk about what needs to happen next. Or if you want, just drop the comment breakthrough below, and I'll send you a link. Y'all have a blessed, wonderful day. We'll see y'all next time.